Welcome to another episode of
Soul Philly, where you get your soul fed, y'all.
Yes.
I'm Jasmine.
I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Jasmine, aka Kobe.
Yes. I know y'all be confused because I was for real. I was confused. Like, who's Kobe and who's Jasmine? Like, when I be explaining to them. But yes.
So this one is Kobe. Even though both of our name is Jasmine, her last name is Colbert. But we call her Kobe for short because, you know, we used to hoop it up back in high school. She was balling out of control like Kobe. But, and then I'm Jasmine. And the wonderful Tiffany, and we make a Tiffany sandwich. But, yeah.
Love. Okay. Today, it is Independence Day.
Yes, it is.
The 4th of July. And we have a lot of people online on social media every year talking about, this ain't for us.
Wait. Why did this day make me think of
I'm scared.
dear white people and how people were probably scrolling through their timeline like woke.
Right.
Not woke.
Yes.
Right. No, it's the memes are funny. People on my timeline talk about it was like a whole bunch of flags and like American wear, and it was like, I bet not see none of y'all wearing this and posting pictures of this. You wearing like 4th of July attire because this is not your holiday.
The funny thing is, I bought a $2 shirt from American Apparel when they were closing of a like American flag shirt, like a crop top, and I was like, I can't wait to wear it. And today I couldn't find it. I was like, God must want me to be super not this, but I'm gonna find that. I'm in between.
Right?
It's kind
I
of
wish
like
the
no.
shirt had the little question mark like that guy.
Yeah.
But
Right.
There was a guy's shirt that says,
Wet freedom.
What freedom?
Yeah, wet freedom.
What?
Wear. Freedom wears.
So we're gonna talk about that, but we have a new segment called
For the culture.
Do it for the culture.
Do it for the culture, guys.
Do It for the Culture, and we're going to be breaking down the song Lift Every Voice and Sing.
Yes, we really didn't have like a true Juneteenth. Like we didn't talk about it, our podcast. And how can we be inspired fire? How can we be us as black women and not talk about?
It's wrong. But
But
the
the
thing
following
is,
years, the next year.
I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about that as I was packing to come here today, and I was like, you know, the 4th of July is a huge thing, but it's like, well, especially where I'm from, Pearland, Texas. I grew up in the suburbs in a very diverse area.
Yes.
We were like one of the first black peoples in Pearland.
Yes,
Now it's hella black. But but I was thinking in schools they don't emphasize, you know, this is a day that y'all were free. Like they don't make it a huge thing, which is like it should be.
But you have to think about the majority of the culture. So if it doesn't really affect them, so why would they
But why wouldn't they?
highlight it?
But the thing is, what I'm getting into, like, good point. But the thing is, it's essential to our history. If it's American history, slavery is a part of American history. And to have someone to really be free and liberated, like we are, like not really free, but out of bondage, even though it took like a year. That's huge, and that's real freedom, like Juneteenth. I mean, even when it was in total freedom, we weren't slaves anymore. Even though they have different ways of enslaving us till this day, we weren't slaves anymore, and that's a huge thing. As opposed from July 4th, where everybody wasn't free. It was just white men specifically, not even women. Definitely not African Americans.
But I do think that we do have something to celebrate because, you know, there were African American, over 5,000, you know, men who served in the army, who fought. So I think, you know, and women who were nurses, laundresses, and, you know, cooks. So we can, you know, choose to look at that part of it and say, okay, they helped so that everybody could be free.
That's true. And you know what? That's true, but it's also effed up because they fought for them, but still, like,
but they didn't know that they weren't gonna,
well, they thought they were gonna be free. A lot of them thought they were gonna be free, but a lot of what they don't tell you is a lot of black people were fighting with the Brits because they actually gave them more freedoms than the people who are colonizing America. And like, if you just look back at it, it's not really freedom. It's not really freedom when someone came into a country, they stole it from Native Americans, the Indians, which they called them, that's just like it just sets a bad taste in my mouth. It's like it's not real. It's like a fabricated holiday to like we rejoice in it and we're proud, we're independent, but at the end of the day we're really celebrating killing, raping, enslavement, and people taking away from a land that is not theirs. And I just can't get with it, though I'm proud and I'm honored. It's not like really honored. Maybe I'm just happy that I am in a place that is so-called free and has a lot of opportunities. But when you really look at it, it's like, what is it worth the bloodshed? Like, I can never get like jiggy with that. Mm-hmm. I'm really never like okay with that.
I get what you're saying. It does have it's like you grow up in this society where things are the way it is, and we've been conditioned to celebrate this holiday, and so it's like you're not gonna necessarily say, I know me, if my family was cooking, you're not gonna neglect the opportunity to hang out with your family just because it's a day that you don't appreciate. Or maybe some people do. I won't say, but in most cases, we're still gonna, if you have a job, you're still off of work, you're not gonna be like, I'm coming in anyway just because I don't celebrate this day. Like, you're still gonna take that day off, you're still gonna eat the food, and you're gonna enjoy and engage in activities. Granted, you may create your own. I do believe it is important, if you don't necessarily agree with the holiday, you can create your own culture and your own way to celebrate the holiday.
Right.
But the holiday in itself is a touchy subject, and Black people, we were not free during that holiday. We were slaves still. Not all Black people, but the African Americans that were stolen from Africa at that time, we were still enslaved and picking cotton on the fields. So our ancestors were not living the life that we're living in the current day.
Right.
So, but if you want to fast forward it up to present day where we are now, I guess we're free.
Free. And that's the thing. Like, I want to say, I don't want to say that I'm more proud of being American. I'm more proud of being a Black American to see how we keep overcoming.
Exactly.
Overcoming. Nothing could stop us. Like, slavery wasn't that long ago, and we're over here popping. We're at jobs. We're entrepreneurs. And I don't feel like as a community in the outside, the media, or whoever it is, it doesn't give us enough credit for what we do. Like, how far we really have come, even though there's so much that can still be done. Yeah. But it's like, I'm confused at the same time.
Yes, you're confused. That's exactly what it is. Because if you think about it, all countries that celebrate their Independence Day, every country has their own. Like, Britain had their Independence Day, Jamaica had their Independence Day, Nigeria has their Independence Day, and so they're really truly celebrating a time where all their people of that land, of their natives of that land, they actually are celebrating that freedom. So it's kind of touchy for African Americans because, well, actually even Europeans are not even natives of this land. So nobody really is a native of America if you break it down to like its to the root, if you will. So no one's a native. The Native Americans, they're extinct. So, and it's sad. Yeah, almost like they're endangered species.
And that hurts because you hear like a lot of people saying that people like low key they're trying to extinct us, Black people. So it's like to see that people can actually be lost. That's scary.
Absolutely.
But I just want to say, like, I'm totally appreciative that God put me on this earth in America because of all the opportunities. But
so grateful still, even
so
still.
Grateful. Yeah. But we have to know. We have to know like what it came from.
Right.
Which is not right, you know.
Right. I think the true way to achieve freedom is to know these facts, even though they're hurtful facts, they're painful facts, but to know the truth will make you get that much closer to your ultimate freedom.
Yeah, you have to address those wounds so that you can heal it properly and so that you can overcome those things.
Yeah,
exactly.
But I really like that you said like all these other countries celebrate their freedom and stuff like that. That's why I think it's really important for us to celebrate our freedom, the Juneteenth, to really make that a huge thing.
Right, that is true.
Yes, and that's how we're gonna do it for the culture right now.
Yes.
Yes. I really quick want to say.
Can we go ahead and elaborate what doing it for the culture actually means? Because this is a new segment.
Yes.
First time we implemented it
that's right.
on Soul Feeling. So go ahead and let us know, and inform the people what doing it for the culture means.
It's like a new term that everyone is using, and I mean, we want to address certain issues during our podcast where we are doing it for the culture, for our people,
Right.
or whatever is going on in society, today. So we want to have a time where we address whatever is going on in the world,
Right.
and so that's what we're gonna title it. Doing it for the culture.
Right. Okay. So is it just African American culture, or just culture in
We
general?
haven't decided yet. This is
Our
still
culture,
new.
we got a lot. We
Yes.
black, we millennials,
Right.
we are professionals, we are entrepreneurs. So whatever culture.
Perfect.
That
Just wanted
is.
to make sure it was clear to all of you all out there. All right, so it's about a lot of different aspects of culture. Culture is not just race. So,
Yeah, absolutely. I really quick want to say this quote from Frederick Douglass. He said, "The 4th of July is yours, not mine. You may rejoice, I must mourn." So I was like, that deep. And then the Declaration of Independence says, "We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. That all are created equal, that are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights." I think it said liberty, justice, happiness, and stuff like that. I'm sorry, I didn't write the whole quote, but I just thought that was till this day, we don't have justice. We don't have certain freedoms as a black culture specifically. And that just, it's been over 200 years since this was written, and we still don't have those rights. So we see that with the killings and getting no type of justice. Dogs are getting more justice than us. So it just really grinds my gears. But let's switch over to the culture and talk about Lift Every Voice and Sing,
right.
Yes.
our national black anthem, aka.
Yes, we just want to read the first stanza. Because a lot of people, I know, we learned this in elementary. My choir teacher taught it to us, and we sang it
Right. I
to
went.
the school. And just a few days ago, my dad randomly, wakes up and plays this song, and it just took me back. I was just like,
Wow.
oh my gosh.
Right. I think and I like how you said that, how she learned this song way back in elementary school. And I think it's important. That's actually a part of culture. So if we let these certain parts of our culture die and we don't pass it on to the next generation, that's how the culture gets lost.
Yes.
So, but yeah. So going back to the African American black anthem.
That is so
the black
true.
national anthem.
Because my siblings, I grew up in Missouri City, and my siblings, they grew up in Pearland, and they don't teach it. They didn't learn it. So
Yeah. I was telling you the same thing. I was like, I didn't even know about it until I got to college in an HBCU. Maybe if I went to a predominantly white institution, maybe I still wouldn't know it. My mama knows. My mama knows it though, because she went to
and
high
that's
school. That's
crazy, So
Yeah.
we have to teach these things to each other.
Right.
right.
That's so true. And likewise, because I went to an HBCU as well, and we had mandatory chapel on Tuesdays, and we played that national anthem. Well, we sung it. The choir used to sing it every Tuesday, just about. So.
But I'm still even surprised, they never played it at church or anything.
Not that I can remember. I just knew that I was at Howard University. Everybody knew the words, and I was like, what is happening? Why do everybody lifting their fists? And I'm like, well, I'm going to lift my fist, and I'm just going to hum. 'Cause I don't know.
But yes, lift every voice and sing, till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise, high as the listening skies. Let it resound, loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. I love that verse.
That's strong.
Yes.
I think it's just it's like a mantra to keep you, like, although the present may seem gloomy and dreadful right now, just persevere on until you achieve that liberty, that justice, that happiness that you deserve. That's what I think it means to me.
Agreed.
Yes.
I think that is definitely a song that's for anybody who is going through it. You know, especially as a community. It's just good to hear everyone sing it at once and really just feel those words. And I think it's better than the national.
Yes. So if you haven't heard it, play it, listen to it.
My mom loves that song.
Right.
You know, play it one time, one good time for today.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Play that song.
Right. It's the national anthem.
Yes.
For crying out loud, guys.
Yes.
We have some comments. What are people saying? What are y'all saying?
I remember singing that song at Frost Elementary.
Hey,
Wow.
Asia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and I think someone from your school. I don't know if it's from your school. Say yes, Miss.
Miss Cochran. Miss
Oh,
Cochran.
Cochran.
Yes.
Black name.
Yes. She was amazing. Like, yes.
And that's like why it's really important to have black teachers and things of that nature, because black educators, because they're gonna keep the culture alive.
Yes, they will.
For sure.
Right, and it's like you can't really penalize if you grow up in a suburb area. You can't necessarily penalize your sons and daughters for not knowing about this, because that's technically not their fight. The teachers, if they're not your ethnicity, that's not their. They can't understand. They can't empathize with you, and they may not even be aware of this song. Just like you didn't even know the song exists, they may not even be aware of the song and its existence.
Right.
So
it's on us.
So it's on us. It's on the parents. It's on you to know who you are. You to really bring about all the culture experiences into your unborn, into your future, or if you have born children already, into their lives. So you can't depend on outside sources. And once you plant that seed will flourish in all avenues of their life, no matter what.
Absolutely. It's just a good song. It's really a good song for everyone. It's just so peaceful.
It is peaceful.
It's just like, it feels good. It feels like, okay, let's get it. So
It makes you just feel liberated.
liberated. That's a great word. So, any more about this song? All right, we're getting into our main segment, and we're talking about freedom. In the post on our Instagram, Inspire Fire Daily, we basically said, do we have freedom? Because that's what the 4th of July is about. That's why we're all happy, we're free, we broke free from the British. But do we sincerely have freedom? And that goes for everybody, like you said. What do y'all think? And first of all, what do y'all believe freedom is? What do y'all think freedom is? Put it in the comments.
Yeah, what exactly is freedom? And not just talking about for you and your family, just us as a nation.
I think a lot of times we think it is the choice, freedom of choice, because we have the choice to live where we want to live, to drive whatever kind of car we want to. We can go to a restaurant and we can choose whatever it is on the menu that we want to. But it's much more than that. It's being at peace. It's that peace, that happiness. It's a mental thing too. Being mentally able to just do and say the things that you want to do.
Right.
I agree with that. What do you think it is, Tiffany?
I think freedom. I'm sorry, I'm just thinking too much about maybe free from constraints. Constraints that are imaginary, and constraints that are real, and constraints that are structured by society or the government. So real freedom, because I feel like some people are hindering our freedom. Like, if we just think about laws and stuff like that, freedom to Black people specifically, to, if they really want to start a business, once it seems like every time they see Black people start to flourish, like what's that, Black Wall Street.
Mm-hmm.
They try to do something to curb it or make a law to put black men in jail or to break up the black family home. I wish that real freedom is like, yes, seeing a community doing well, whether it's African Americans, Hispanics, Indians, seeing them doing well, but not trying to constrain them or oppress them just because they're doing well. Just letting people really be free to, you know, to grow, to flourish. I mean, I know that people see. It seems like people see black people as a threat. So why? Because that's the only thing I could fathom to why they try to oppress us so much. And I just wish we had the freedom to, if we're doing something good, if we have a medicine like a herb that could cure cancer, or, you know, I feel like it's just that freedom, and that goes to like more than black people. It goes to like when there's maybe still be a cure for cancer, there may be a cure for HIV, but since money is such a freaking monopoly, it's just like people are scared to say what's real, what's the truth, or people are just so up on money that they don't care if people are dying. And so I feel like real freedom is letting, I don't know who it is, but people just letting people flourish.
Okay.
I definitely agree with that. First, like, you pretty much stole my mind and just put it in words. But yes, that's absolutely positively true. It's not being constrained, like in held captive, and mentally, absolutely. And I know this, like Ben Carson, he said this, and he said poverty is a state of mind, and a lot of people was like ready to just it was a huge uproar, like, that's stupid, how could you say that? He's like, if I go open my refrigerator and there's no food in there, it's not no damn state of mind, it's literally no food in there. Yeah. And so I feel like he may have worded it in a way where the masses can't understand it. And so I feel like that state of mind of, because if you have these imaginary shackles on your mind and you constantly think that I can't have a greater life, or this is all I'm destined for, and it's not even seeing that, this may not even be because of you. This could just be something that's happened, that's been passed down generation.
It's the norm.
Yes.
Like, if you see that, the normal is doing what you know, is whatever you know and what you're used to.
Exactly. And if all you know is poverty, if all you know is working a 9 to 5, if all you know is, I don't know, it's like,
all you know is basically my worth is based on shoes, cars, gold, but I might not really have an income.
Yeah.
Or if all you know is, even if I know a lot of black people, we say that the system,
right?
If all you know, the system is meant to suppress you, then that's all you're gonna get. And granted, there are some, now I'm not gonna say and try to sit here and say poverty doesn't exist. I'm not gonna say that there is blatant unjustness that is happening in our system, but I feel that as long as, and it's difficult not to acknowledge it. It's difficult not to accept that into your reality, because that's all that's plastered on the media, on social media, and it's definitely happening out in the real world. But I feel like once we become free of that and gain peace, even throughout all the midst of all this chaoticness, we will then be able to pass down peace, pass down understanding, pass down, and that's what you really want to pass down in your culture. There was I forget who said, I think it was like Wayne Dyer or Lewis Howell, she said, people want to have a peaceful protest, but I mean, not a peaceful, they want to have a protest on war, but it was like, the way to protest war is not to have a rally against war, because you're just fighting the very thing which you're giving life, you're feeding life force to it. So by saying we don't want war, so you're fighting, you're pulling the tug of war game, so you're actually fueling the war without even knowing it, because you're giving it your energy. So once we get the freedom to know that I don't even have to accept these things into my reality, because we create our reality. And if this is your first time listening to our podcast, we address that like in many different ways, how we actually create the things that are happening in our physical reality. And maybe y'all can break that down a little bit.
No, I understand. Because it's like when we were talking to Dwight the other day, and it's a really confusing subject, because yes, we know that these things are happening, but we have to like step out of our mind. Like he was saying that black men are just so oppressed, blah 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 blah. But it seemed like he accepted that.
Yes, you can't accept it,
Right.
although it's happening.
You just go back and just do the same things that you know,
Right.
you have to change. Something has to change within you.
Right. It goes back to what the song says: just keep going until freedom rings, or something like that. So it's
Absolutely.
like and yeah, it's definitely a tough. I'm so glad you brought that up, because it is. I truly believe that it does start with peace of mind. It does start with, you do create your reality. God gave us all that. He gave us free will. Like, that's what's up. And we have to create our will just with our minds and actions. So like, it is hard, because it's like, you know this is going on. But I guess if everybody just changed their mindset
Exactly.
of freedom, that we could really break through and have unity. Like, maybe it's just, you can't stop the energy if it's happening.
Right, and it's just like, I really just want to get it in the most simplest way, so everybody can
I'm
just
trying to come.
get it, like, because it's so, okay, so granted all of this uproar and these things are happening, but you still have the 1% that's overcoming all of these obstacles that's been placed in our way. So for example, although black people are being oppressed, we just had a black president. Although black people are always, like, we can't get business loans as easily as, or grants as easily as some of our counterparts that live in the same nation as us. Although it is a little harder for us to get certain perks that everybody get on a day-to-day basis, but it's not impossible. Although it may be difficult, it's still not impossible, because there are still hundreds of thousands of black millionaires. There's still hundreds of thousands of black successful doctors, lawyers, and all kinds of people that have a face or a voice in the community. So it's not impossible for you. Just because you have all these limitations placed and the odds are stacked against you, this is still not impossible.
And maybe, I don't even know if these limitations, I feel like they're real, but they're not real if you don't let them be.
They're only real if you choose to accept them.
Right.
Yes.
So it's just like when Dwight was talking, he was just talking about all the way. Sorry, I know you don't listen to this, but he was just talking about all the ways that the black man is oppressed. But I was just like, but look at Sipari, but look at Charlamagne the God, which is one of my favorites. Look at these people. Kevin Hart. We are unstoppable. LeBron
Right.
James. Like, I don't want to just say entertainers, but
I know, because even the guy we had on our last podcast,
Exactly.
Daryl Muhammad.
Daryl
Yeah.
Muhammad,
Look
just
at Tiffany
saying,
Malone.
it's
Look
not
at
just about
Jasmine Tobin.
entertainers.
Right.
We have to, black doctors. We have other people, lawyers.
a lot.
So we need to see that more, so we can know that it is possible to obtain success, other than through rap or entertainment.
Right. And just believing, like, you see it, you can do it too, and this is going to be more and more and more and more. The thing is, they want us to feed into the limitations. I can't do this, I can't do that, I'm always going to be in the hood. But if we just keep saying or showing what we can do, and people are seeing it and accepting that into their lives, like, you can do it. And I think you really have to break out of that mentality, because people are thinking, I'll never get out the hood, or I'll never be this, or you have way more opportunities than me. But everybody has resources, and just optimize those resources the best you can. And I know it's easy. I know it's easy to get swept up by that, but you can't, like, y'all overcome some major obstacles that people could say that you could have just stayed where you're at, but no, y'all overcame it.
Absolutely.
I think it's part of it is fear, and then part of it is I was reading somewhere, it's called the battered woman syndrome, and you know, like the reason why a woman will stay in a situation where she's, you know, getting abused is because she feel like, you know, if I just do right, then things will, you know, be better. Like it won't get worse.
Right.
So I think that's what
they just
we
play
do.
the game.
Yes, like if we just, you know, do what we're told, if we just, you know, then things will get better.
I want to read this real quick.
Yeah, we have a couple of comments, Rihanna.
Is this Chloe's roommate? I just want to know. Do you know?
I don't know.
Is this Chloe's roommate? If yes, say yes. But she said, for me as a black woman, old roommate, for me as a black woman, freedom in relation to my country means being accepted by my country as a citizen without having to disarm my fellow non-black citizens of the presumption, stereotypes they may hold me. Other black people too. But my country, I not only mean the government, but also the citizens that live in this country.
Right.
I love that. Did y'all have anything to say on that?
That's true, because although we say that black people are the ones that's being oppressed, we have to understand that there are Hispanics that are born and they're Hispanic Americans. We have to understand there are Indian Americans that are actually born on this soil. They don't have to go back to their country like people say, go back to where you came from. But they're actually American citizens. Just because you were born on this soil, it technically makes you an American citizen. And I think that's what's so beautiful, because America is a melting pot. So it should be. And I feel like as it being a melting pot, I completely agree. All the citizens should have that equal treatment, that justice that we all long for. It should not be one citizen superior to another.
Right, and I think a lot of times we try to, I think we do it on accident. And I love white people, but it's like sometimes we say there's white supremacists, but I think sometimes we put them on a pedestal as well, and we're like, oh well, white people do this, or well, the Jews do this, or well, da 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 da. Like, but what do we do? We create culture, hip hop. We make everything trends, braids around the world. Whatever we do, everyone copies us. So we're always like, I always hear people saying like, oh well, white people do this, we could just do this. But maybe if we just focus on what we do have and stop looking to the other, it's just like a comparison contest. If I'm always focused on what Kobe's doing, how am I going to stay focused on what I'm doing?
Exactly.
So maybe as a community, we need to see what we have. We have a lot to offer, and not try to copy what someone else do. And
I love that you brought that up, because 2 Sundays ago, my mentor, he just literally said, like, he quoted this quote from Kobe Bryant, and he said, the moment I compare myself, I've already lost. And so the fact that black people are so busy comparing ourselves, well, we ain't got this, and look, the such and such just came over here and they already built up their nation, and they already got little this town, and they're so like they just came over here a couple of years ago, and it's just like, why are we comparing ourselves? Stay in your lane and dominate your lane, be the best in your lane, instead of always looking outside itself, like just what you're just saying.
No, but you said it really nicely.
But it goes to say, and black people or African American people, whatever we choose to identify ourselves as, brown skinned people, dark brown skinned people.
Right.
But why do we get so mad when other cultures copy us? That's what I don't understand.
Well, it's basically because so if you see a guy wearing braids, girl wearing braids, cornrows to the back, we are already stereotyped. Oh, she ghetto. Oh, she must be loud. She probably an angry black woman. But when Kylie Kardashian does, or Kylie Jenner does it, they're like, oh my God, this is the new trend that's so hot. Or big booties, like, I don't know, like that looks stank, or like something crazy.
I mean, but now,
but now when Kim Kardashian has a big booty, or all these white people have a big booty, or it's like it hurts. It hurts so much when you just think about it. If you do something, you do the same thing as I do, and someone's like, what is she doing? And I do exactly the same thing you're doing, and they're like, Tiffany does this, like, oh my gosh, she's the best, and they just shunned you for doing exactly the same thing.
I see exactly what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
You might even taught me. You even taught me how to be a naturalista. They could be like, oh, she funky over here. They would say, oh my gosh, she's so creative. She just created this natural deodorant. Like what?
Yeah, yes, I get that, and I agree with that. But I have to also say, when you are the best, people are naturally just gonna copy you. If we see Beyonce doing something, naturally it's like, okay, like that one day when we was having our wellness workshop, and we was like, so what y'all gonna wear today? And then Kobe puts this Beyonce inspired outfit. We like, oh, I gotta copy that. So it's just
I
like,
always copy y'all.
Exactly.
But the thing is, no one's shunning you.
That's true.
That's the difference.
It's true, but then that's why I think it's up to us as a culture to like constantly give those reminders. We can't look to outside cultures to give us that validation, because I mean, granted, there is prejudice in all cultures. Like if you just because you're ignorant and you don't understand it, and so if I'm gonna just say, because Cat Williams, he said this. He was just like, he was making fun of the quinceañera dresses. He was just like, he was making a mockery out of it, but he was saying, why is like your baby at 7 years old walking around with a wedding dress on? Like, he's like, y'all need to do something about that. And so I think, but every person wants to be woman, not every, but majority of women wants to be married and wants to have a wedding dress. So you are copying something just because either you don't understand it, or just because not copying because you don't understand, you making a mockery out of it just because you don't understand it, then later on you're doing the very same thing that you shunned down.
I see what you're saying. I guess it just hurts.
It does hurt. It's very painful, but you don't see the Hispanics saying, don't wear your quinceañera dress, that's stupid. They're still uplifting, like, this is our culture, we're proud to have quinceañeras. Forget what they saying, just because they're ignorant of it, they don't understand it, we're still gonna do it, and we're still gonna be proud at what we do.
Right, and I think that we are proud. It's just, it hurts when
it does.
I think we are proud. I don't think people are saying don't have cornrows, don't have locks, don't have this and that.
Some black people are shunning as well. Like,
some black people do shun. You're right about that.
Because they've been conditioned by mainstream.
You're right about that. So for y'all, I guess I was only speaking for myself. I'm like, you need to wear your hair like this and that. Like, I like the blackest you can be is fine with me. For real, I think it's so amazing.
I just think if you have that self-love as a culture, if outside cultures come in and try to pour salt on you, it wouldn't really affect you that much, because I have the next person has my back. It's just like if somebody were to talk about a Indian person or a white person, they're not gonna care about your opinion. It's gonna be like, okay, and you saying that, but we gonna still do what we want to do, because we know we're better than you, or we know some people have that we're better than you mentality, or we just know who we are. We know we good at what we do, and we don't have to prove anything to you.
And that's the thing, when you have that confidence. Like, I have went into an interview with an afro. Every time I tried to conform, I didn't get the job. But it was correlation to my to the how way I felt.
That's part of being free too,
Yeah.
Like conforming to whatever,
right,
to society and the standards.
But I think it's that thing where you're the best.
Yes.
So like Charlamagne the God, he doesn't, even though he was fired multiple times, he still is himself. He lives in his truth. He knows he's the best. He has no competition because his competition is himself. So like, he's gonna keep talking the way he wants to talk, because that's overall, when you're living your truth, I feel like you always win. So when I was going on those interviews, I had my hair like this on the interview, but I knew I was
well overqualified for both. And when I wore my hair in the afro, I was like, oh yeah, I still know.
My brother did the same thing when he was working for the CW. He had a mohawk afro, and he's a black African American man.
Right.
And that didn't let nobody stop him.
Right.
He got the job.
You have that freedom to be exactly who you are, unapologetically you, and then you're confident. So I think confidence goes hand in hand with freedom, because I think the only reason why we feel inadequate is because we're not confident in ourselves.
That's true. Because we're always looking to the
So
others.
we need to implement confidence into the culture, guys. So
yes, uplift your daughters and sons. I see this too. Like, you're right, people do that. Like, because my dad, when I had an afro going to Howard University, he was like, what you gonna do with your head? I was like, nothing.
Right.
Or,
oh yeah, my dad, my grandmother, my aunts, everybody in my family was just like, what is this? What you got going on? Like, and oh my gosh, when they found out it was locked, like, that's not gonna come down? You're not gonna take your hair down? Like, you're not gonna untwist it and see how long it's got? I'm like, it don't come down. Like, so you just we have to start with just liberating ourselves and our own, and stop looking outside for this love that we long for, because the love is only going to come from within your circle of people and within yourself. So
That's true. We have to uplift each other.
it's important.
And because I think even sometimes in the back of our head, we have been conditioned. And I feel like this is the time we're breaking out of it due to like social media and seeing all this other stuff that we didn't know anything about.
Absolutely.
But like people are conditioned to think that a black man with the hood is just, even a darker skinned black man with the hood is dangerous. But when you think about it, have you ever been robbed by a dark skinned black man in the hood, or are you just conditioned because you see it on TV all the time? I'm sure some people have, but people are so scared of what they've just seen.
Right.
When in reality, has that even happened to you?
Right, exactly. And I love that you said that, because we've been conditioned to think that, and so whatever you think, you attract. And so just because you're thinking that these people are violent, therefore you may have encountered somebody being violent. Because if we just naturally, tomorrow, if we just flipped the switch and said we have kind of did this. I was gonna say, like, every Middle Eastern person you saw, you just thought they had a bomb. Like, how stupid is that? Have you ever been in a situation where somebody just threw a bomb out in the mall where you were with a Middle Eastern person? So it's like we've been conditioned to be afraid of these people when these situations haven't even happened to us.
It's just like boom, 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 boom. Like, but for some cultures, so I guess we have to create our own mindset, our own reality. And you're right. I always said, like, my dad was like, watch out. This is so silly. I'm sorry, Dad. I know you don't listen either. But he was like, I was going to Emancipation Park, like, Saturday, and I was like, oh, yeah. He's like, what are you doing today? And I was like, oh, going to Emancipation Park, helping my friends sew some shirts. And he was like, oh, you better be safe. Is they going to watch you or is he going to walk you to your car? And I'm like, it's daylight, the light doesn't go down, the sun doesn't go down until 9. And he was like, look, Tiffany, I know. And when I got there, y'all, little kids just dancing around. It was so freeing. And I was like, that perception. And I think that perception, I feel like nothing will harm me because I have good energy. And when I have negative energy, I check it. And I pray over myself like
a gazillion times.
A gazillion.
Right? And another thing what that does, that stereotyping people, okay, I'm gonna just put it out there. My family, I have a cousin, my family kept saying, you gonna be a gangster, you gonna be a gangster. And he was like, I'm not even thinking about being a gangster. Like, why they keep saying that I'm gonna be a gangster? And then, like, 4 years later, he joined the gang. I was like, he's like, well, since they think I'm a gangster, I may as well be a gangster. I'm like, no, don't do that. Like, that's a terrible way to combat it. And some people, that's all they know. Instead of saying, I'm going to liberate myself higher and be better than this, they say, well, since you already think I'm that, then I'm going to do it. Like, constantly getting accused for a woman. Like, always, you're HO, you're HO. Well, then since you think I'm one, I may as well be one. Like, and it's like, no, that's not the mindset to have. But some people don't know how to combat it and say, I'm going to do empowering things and I'm going to prove to you that this is not what I am. Or not even prove to you, it's just be yourself and be great as you were destined to be.
Yeah.
So stop stereotyping people, especially in
or
our
yourself.
culture. Yes.
Because, like, even I was talking to somebody about this, and he was like, he was in a middle class family, and he was talking about, oh yeah, I had to sell drugs, I had to. And he was like, and think about people younger than, like, in a unfortunate situation, like in the hood, in an impoverished area, like, I have to sell drugs. Like, if you think that you have to sell drugs, then you're gonna sell drugs, but there is always another way. So it's just like, we are stereotyping ourselves, like, this is the only way, but no, it's not. You have different ways to get out or to make your life the way you want it to be, other than negative things.
Right.
So I was just really surprised that he said, like, oh, that was the only way, that's the only way, and he kept making excuses for why this is the only way instead of coming up with solutions. And that's what I think that a lot of people do. We come up with excuses on why we can't do something, why we can't come together, instead of just coming up with the solution. Constantly complaining instead of coming up with the solution.
That's true. Right. I completely agree with that statement. Okay, y'all want to read the
We got
book?
work to do. We got work to do. We do.
We got work to do.
We got some work.
It starts with self. It starts with self. Y'all should go listen to our self-love podcast, but it starts with self. You can't change the world unless you change yourself first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
What did Tony say?
oh yeah, the piece of Tony. I heard that part.
Freedom, to me, is the acceptance of other people regardless of our differences, and know that being different, believing different does not have to separate us. Without this mindset, we are prisoners within our own ignorance. Love is one of the hardest things to accomplish when there is so much space in it, in between. Sorry.
I like it. I think we just want so much to be accepted, but we have to accept ourselves first.
The right to reserve your, what did it say? Civil liberties.
Oh. Yeah, the right to reserve your civil liberties, influence change at will, and influence and change at will.
Yes, that's exactly what I was saying. I understand that.
That's true. Yes.
We just
So we can't be so rooted to and stuck in our ways. It's because sometimes we can get complacent, and it may not even be outside things that's holding you down from your freedom. It could be just you holding you down because you're afraid to change and at will.
most of the time it's yourself.
Actually all the time, 100% of your problems, like Eminem said, your
Yes.
problems are self-made.
I know that
Yes.
verse was horrible, but I love that part. It was scary.
That bar was amazing.
Fire, though.
Was fire, but that verse was a little questionable.
But never mind. I was just going with the white privilege again. Like you can say all that, you don't get no backlash, and then we say one thing.
No, we're not gonna compare. We're not gonna compare.
See,
Yes,
I gotta
that's
work on
good.
myself.
But yeah, so moving on into the next topic. Great comments, guys. Keep them coming. We appreciate you for staying tuned in.
I have a question for y'all. How are y'all going to, for yourselves, or be free? How do y'all plan to be free? Like get your freedom, or get, you know what I'm
A
saying?
huge thing for me, it started surprisingly, was the Inspire Fire Be You challenge, Authentically You, that Tiffany started. And when it really opened the door, because it was like, because I know we live in a social media age, and sometimes you're afraid to like something because people be creepy lurking and looking at all the stuff that other people be liking, or
I'm a stalker.
or maybe you're afraid to post something because you're like, what are they gonna think, or what are they gonna do, or you're afraid to start a YouTube channel, or you're afraid to just do these things that are out of the norm, that's out of tradition, just because you're afraid of like what your parents gonna say. Like, is that gonna make them proud, or did they teach you to go in that area of life, or so that being authentically me and doing whatever I wanted to do, and just shamelessly just taking off the mask and just saying this is who I am and embracing it, and those that are around me, either they're gonna love it or they gonna love it, or they'll just
They can't help but love it.
distance themselves from me, and that's okay, and that's completely fine. So I think just stepping outside the box, and not even outside the box, because sometimes I'll be doing that much, just like
You really don't.
that extra, but I'm just saying, like, taking those steps to just do exactly what I want and forget about the criticism that comes behind it.
Right.
So that's how I'm gonna be free. How would you ladies be free?
Yeah, it's the same thing. I kind of have a dark, like, position. I probably should change it up, but I think to myself, I see, when I see people dying and things of that nature, I always think to myself, did they live the life that they really want to live? Or so when I'm making a decision or not, or I'm acting a certain way, and I just want to be myself, I have to go back, well, I want to make sure I live my life to like my best fulfillment, and being who I am and not scared, because I really do have internal fights with myself, like, should I go here, I'm late, or should I do this or that, what would they think of me? And then I say, no, I'm do what I want. Like, okay, so like on Saturday I went to a boot camp, but I was late, and I was like, all these black people, like, they probably gonna be thinking, oh, like, she's just coming up to half the workout. That was going in my head, and then I had to think, ain't nobody caring about you. And then I was like, I'm just gonna go, and I had so much fun. Got a workout in, and I finished the other half of the workout when it was complete. It's just little things like that that make me free.
It's the little things.
It's the little
It all
things.
starts with the little things. Most of the times we want to be a leader of the free world and not knowing that even get into that point and start with just being you on the smallest level. So
Yeah, and also, like, I pray, like I said, I pray a lot, and I really be praying because there are some flaws that I have. I'm just gonna put it out there. Sometimes I get jealous and envious, and I do not like that trait about me. And y'all probably don't even know it, but like, I don't like that trait about me. So I had to pray that away. And for a while, I was like, God, why aren't you freeing me from this trait? Like, why? And then I realized, like, he would put stuff in my place to show me why you should not be doing what your real purpose is what your real purpose is. It's basically different lessons that he taught me, so that I can be free of that trait. Because I didn't want it. It was like killing me inside because I knew it was a bad trait, but I couldn't shake it for a long time until he put different lessons in front of me to make me realize that, like, why you can be free from it. I don't know if that makes sense.
I get what you're saying.
I get it.
But that's another way I get my freedom, because sometimes it's hard to just do it you can't do it on your own, you know? So I pray and stuff like that. Yeah.
how about you, Kobe?
I would say fear. I have to kind of eliminate that fear-based kind of ego inside of me, and like even making a decision to get something as simple as braids. You know, it took me a long time
And you super fly.
Yeah,
to
so
get
cute.
these
So
braids because I was worried, like, oh my gosh, what if I have to go to a
Job,
interview or anything like that? And I just had to get out of that mindset of, you know, somebody's not gonna hire me because of, you know, my hair. And I don't even want to work or be in an environment where someone is going to, you know, judge me, based on, you know, my hair. But also, you know, when we, you know, for someone to tell you, you know, we're not free or we're mentally enslaved or, you know, all these things, when you first hear something like that, you're like, no, that's not true. You know, you kind of go back to just doing, you're like, no, I'm not free, I'm just doing me. And you just kind of go back to your regular habits. So I'm just learning to kind of address, like, to read more into certain things so that I can have an understanding for myself and not just, you know, listening to what, you know, other people are saying.
That's so true.
Absolutely.
Or just falling, you know, into, you know, other people's beliefs.
Right.
Ooh, I'm sorry.
No,
What's
you're
somebody
good.
say?
Miss Tony said, do you ladies feel that freedom is a state of mind or a state of being?
Oh,
It is.
That's
It is
both.
both.
because your
It's
mind is who
definitely
you
both.
like. Your thoughts are who you are. You attract it. So if you're thinking negative, you are negative. If you're thinking free, you are free.
Yeah.
So you are being.
Yeah.
Right.
So it starts in your mind, and because I mean, we always say this: your mind, your thoughts create your reality.
Right.
Yes. And so, if you are free in your mind, you're going to, like you said, you know, you're going to live out and be free. You're going to think alive and, you know, be thinking forwards, not backwards. You know,
Right.
thinking like a free person and not a dependent slave. So,
Dependent.
Girl.
Could we feel like we're so dependent when we could actually just create our reality?
And
Oh, yeah, that was good.
that was so good. That was so good. And to elaborate on that, since y'all pretty much said everything I was gonna say, so I'm just gonna add a little tidbit. So I hope I'm not quoting this incorrectly, but Napoleon Hill said that even if you have a company, and if there's one person in that company and they never even open their mouth, if they're just sitting there spewing out negative thoughts, that is just as powerful to destroy your entire company. And he's like, I guarantee you, give it 1 year, that company will be downhill, because they're sitting there just radiating all these negative things, and they're putting blocks in your state of being. So you're trying to attract good partnerships, or you're in the process of wanting to expand your company, but this person don't believe in you, this person don't they're just sending off negative vibes, negative thoughts, and you can feel it, but you can't see it or you can't hear it because they're not voicing it. It said that will literally, that can be the catalyst of why your company haven't actually generated the success that it needs, or the reason why your company haven't gotten that partnership or that partnership or that big break that it needs, just all by somebody's thoughts. He's like, you're just thinking negative. I don't want you around me because you can literally be. That's why it's just all about your environment, guys. Because if you're in an environment, even if it's your household and your partner, your spouse, your child is just sitting there not believing in you, or you're not believing in them, you can literally be detouring them without even knowing it from their ultimate happiness or success.
Absolutely.
So thoughts are so important. State of mind.
Real quick, I just want to go back to what she said about being dependent. Obviously, that struck a chord in me. Mm-hmm. It's just because I've seen
being independent,
being dependent.
Oh, dependent. Okay. Oh, yeah, a dependent slave. Yeah.
Because so many people blame other people for why they're not where they're supposed to be. Like, they did this or they did that, so I can't do this. So it's like once you free off of those dependencies, depending on your mom, depending on your friends, depending on other people to validate you or give you something, then you're never going to get to where you need to be. You're never going to be free because you're dependent on someone else. But when you're dependent on yourself and God, then you're unstoppable. Because okay, this happened, but I'm going to make a way for what I want to be done. So it's like it goes back to making excuses. Sure, there might be these obstacles like we were saying earlier. Sure, there might be this system there, but me and my God, we are gonna defy odds because I am a God.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but that just really, because I do be dependent. I have to break myself away from being dependent on people.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Exactly.
That's so great and powerful that you elaborated on what Kobe just said, because that's so true. And I like to say that with saying that when you are being independent and not dependent on people, it's different areas of being independent you may have to make. That's going to be that discernment. Do I need to hang out with this certain crowd of friends? Because you have to independently ask yourself and say, okay, I keep blaming them for the reason why, or blaming this person. So do I need to really be around that person? So you need to cut the cord and literally decide, make the decision to actually do whatever you want to do. To actually cut that so that you can do exactly what you say you're going to do. Or even if it's a substance that you're using, or if it's a sugar, a sweet, anything that you're saying that this is the reason why my life is not the way it's supposed to be, because you're depending on that thing as an scapegoat.
Right. I love that, guys.
So get your freedom, guys.
Get your freedom. And we're going to talk about economic freedom, but we're running over. So just go listen to our last podcast. We talked about that, our economic freedom that we need in the Black community. We have another segment. Were y'all good on this one? That was good.
That was so good.
That was good. I got some gems for y'all.
1 zillion of them.
We have another segment. I forgot what it was called. Didn't we name it?
Okay. We have our question of the day.
Question of the day. That sounds good. So basically, Kobe hit me with this question. I was so excited. So
I know I saw it on Instagram and I was like, "Ooh, I think this will be perfect for the podcast."
I told somebody about the question. I was like, I just thought it was so great, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I saw that on Twitter." I was like, "Oh, so this is a question that's been flowing around." I was like, "Damn." I thought I was gonna hit him with
yeah.
He was like,
"Cool." It's all.
Okay, so what is the question of the day?
Oh, you want me to?
I got it. Okay. All right. What is this chapter in your life called? For me, I'll start out since I asked the question. I would say growth. This is a building and growing phase for me, chapter in my life. Or you know what? I want to call it the process. I said this the other day. Yeah, the process. This is the process because. Right now, we're just at this weird age, 24. We're still trying to figure everything out. We're not quite at the peak yet, but it's the process that's leading up to that, my moment. So yes,
right.
The process.
Yeah, I have two, but you already know mine. It's the brink because
I remember you telling me
Yeah,
that.
the
Nightmare.
brink. Because it's like we constantly are feeling like, you know, something is bound to happen with Inspired Fire. You know, all the efforts we're putting in, like we're on the brink. And I know we've seen opportunities lately have been like coming to us. And we're just making things happen. So I feel like it may not happen right now, but we're on the brink. I feel like I'm on the brink of something great. And it goes into, and why I feel like I'm there, because now I am addressing my flaws. I see what's wrong with me, and then I no longer like suppress it or things like that. I confront it head on and see how I could change it. So, sorry. And so, like that jealousy thing, I confronted it, was praying, and finally I'm free. And there's other things, like I was telling you, those bills that they're piling up, and I was just like avoiding it and I was suppressing it. But now I learned my lesson. I have to get on to, hit things on.
Address issues as they approach, as they come your way, you just knocking them out.
Right.
Like as they come, not kind of just throwing it under the rug.
Yeah, so it's definitely growth. I'm really addressing all of these flaws that I have, and I think that's what's making me be on the brink. Because like now it's like lessons are being learned. God's like, okay, you learned this lesson. Okay, you learned this lesson. You learned this lesson. Now I'm about to give you, but you gotta learn this lesson.
Yeah,
I'm gonna learn it. I'm not gonna suppress it.
yeah,
Right.
Good.
Ooh, y'all was some good ones. Follow behind. No, I'm joking. But wow, I didn't think about mine until now. But I would say my chapter, I'll have to call it B. Just be. Because whatever you want to be, you just need to do that. So if you say you want to be healthy, be healthy. If you want to be free, be free. Be wealthy, be loved. Just be. Like, we always talk about it, but like, just be it. So, be.
Be.
Queen bee? No, I'm joking.
I like that too. I have to get a constant reminder of that. Because like we live life trying to constantly get to the next level, but not enjoying our level.
Right now.
It's like I gotta enjoy this because this is my life. I need to.
Right.
Yes.
I just be. I'm so afraid. Well, I'm not afraid. Once upon a time, I was afraid that like I would get toward the end of my life, and I just be looking back, reminiscing on all the great things I had, and like just because I was taking it for granted so much, like I just wasn't enjoying that actual moment. Because like I even was thinking about like today's 4th of July, and me and my girls, we used to always do like this was like a friend's holiday. Like your family might cook out, but we were like, let's go enjoy the 4th of July, and we would watch fireworks, and it's just like that was some really great, dope moments. Like, so I just want to be in the moment, be present. I can be happy right now, just be and experience.
Free.
Right, just
Ooh,
be free.
yes.
So like, I just want to be here, be right here and now. Right now. So once you get further down your life, you don't have to be looking at your like, dang, I had a really great life. I should have really enjoyed it a little more as it was happening.
Right. I love that. Have y'all listened to the Big Sean album from front to back?
I think so, yeah.
But don't y'all like how the intro is in the last
Like
song?
no, I haven't.
yes.
Ooh,
I only listen to
it's
it on
deep.
Apple.
It gets me every time.
Yeah, it does.
I'm gonna have to
I don't know
listen
how
to
to
it.
explain it, but y'all need to go listen.
Go listen, guys.
Because he just like
Yeah, that
gets a
album
chance
was-
to relive
yeah.
his life the right way. So,
Question of the day, guys.
Question
What's
of the
the
day.
chapter, the name of the chapter of your life?
what chapter are you in?
What chapter? All right, guys.
I love y'all.
Is that the end, guys? Are we
That's it.
concluding?
Affirmation.
Okay, guys. So if this is your first time ever tuning in with us, I just want to say thank you, and you're amazing. And we aren't gonna let you leave here until we give you some affirmations. Some affirmation time.
It's affirmation time.
It's affirmation time. Okay, so what the heck is an affirmation? Some of you may know, some of you may not know. But just in case you don't know, an affirmation is any positive statement that you say to transform your life for the best. Pretty much reprogramming your mind from all that garbage that you were once taught or conditioned or you just been using and picking up from your day-to-day environment. And we're just going to transform it for the life that you actually do want to have, for that freedom you actually do want to have. The only time God ever gave himself a name in the Bible was when he was talking to Moses when the bush was burning, and Moses was like, who that be over there with this burning bush? Well, he probably didn't say it in this context, but he's like, who are you? And God was like, remove your sandals, because this is holy grounds you're about to stand on. And he was like, I am that I am. So that was his name. God said, I am is my name. So whenever you use the words I am, you're calling on the name of God. And so when you're saying I am broke, you're telling God to bless you with brokenness. When you're saying I am tired, you're telling God to bless you with tiredness. When you're saying I'm sick, you're saying God, make me sick. And you don't want to be asking crazy things from God. So we're using the I am affirmations to transform our lives for prosperity, for wonderfulness, for peace, for love, for joy, for freedom, guys. So it's 3 of us and hundreds of billions and millions and trillions of you. So we're going to say our affirmations, and you say yours at home every single day. So who wants to go first?
I don't know what to say.
I know. Okay, I'll go first. I am love.
I am the best.
Okay. I am breaking every chain that has a hold on me, and I am free.
So I'm still in Kobe's.
I always like to go with that affirmation.
I am whatever Kobe says in her affirmation.
I am free.
I am free, liberated. Make sure y'all like this page right now. We're on SoundCloud, we're on iTunes, we are on YouTube, we are on
Facebook Live.
Facebook
if you
Live.
want to see us and see our faces, you can tune in that way. If you want to just hear our lovely voices,
Yeah.
you can go to SoundCloud,
And-
iTunes.
And that's Inspire Fire Daily on Instagram. Just Inspire Fire on Facebook, or is it Inspire Fire?
If you type in Inspire Fire Daily, you could get on our Facebook because that's our at signs. How you
Oh,
use
okay,
it?
okay.
And
Because I was
then-
just typing in Inspire Fire.
And then on SoundCloud, we have a new Instagram.
Oh,
You
yeah.
shocked.
Yes.
You were shocked. She was shocked. Soul Filling Podcast. So
You get all the updates.
it's just soul filling. Nothing really Inspire Fire, just soul filling. So you'll know when we have a new episode out, which will be every Tuesday now. So share with your friends, please. Share with your family, so y'all can be listening to this while you're at work, while you're working out, on your way home. And
Right.
get this positivity. Like, show your mama if she's been negative, let her listen to this podcast.
Right. All right.
Be a good friend and share it with your
Yes.
friends.
Share with your man. You want him to be positive.
Yeah, you want him to speak life into you?
Share with your woman. You want your wife to be positive.
Right. Share it with yourself.
Right.